Hi everyone, Krishna this side. So I previously uploaded this video on the YouTube, but I noticed it was lagging a lot in between, and it was really difficult to understand the solution. So I am again re shooting this particular video, okay? And we'll try to see if I notice anytime if it is lagging, I'll take a pause in between, and once machine is cooled down, I'll again continue with that one, okay? So the problem is like 3443 from the lead code, maximum Manhattan distance after the key changes, okay? We'll go through the problem statement quickly. You are given a string S consisting of characters N, S, E, W, where s of I indicates movements in infinite grid. Okay, we have an infinite grid. We can move in any directions based on this indices. So n means we can move in the north direction by 1 unit. S means we can move in the south direction by 1 unit. E means we can move in the east direction. W means we can move in the west direction by 1 unit. So initially we are at origin 0 0. You can change at most k characters to any of the four directions. Okay, so yes, we can modify these characters as well from the string to any of them, whatever the directions, remaining direction that we have. Find the maximum Manhattan distance from the origin that is achieved at any time. Okay, we have to focus on this one. At any time while performing the movements in any order. Okay, the Manhattan distance between the two cells x of I, y of I is and x of j, y of j is basically this is the formula that we have, x of I minus x of j, y of j minus y of I minus y of j. Okay, and this is the absolute value that we are getting. That is something what we are adding. So first example we have. So in this one, let us directly try to look into the screen and we'll try to discuss about this one. Let me connect this and run the script. We'll get a script screen pop up. So the first example is basically it is north, west, south, east. Okay, this is the string that we have, north, then it is west. Okay, the next is south and east, and the k value is basically 1. So one character we can modify in any of the four directions. Okay, so the Cartesian plane, how it basically looks like. So if I draw a Cartesian plane, okay, that will be like in this way. Okay, and let us suppose this is the north direction. If you so upper side is the north direction, the downside is of course the south, and here if it is the east, here it is going to the west. Okay, so initially the origin is at 0 0. We are at 0 0. Okay, from 0 0, wherever we goes, whatever the maximum distance that we got, okay, at any point in time. Okay, it is not necessary that at the end last how what is the maximum distance that is got, we have to return at any point in time while traversing the string with the modifications. If we get the best answer, that is something what we have to consider as an answer. Okay, we are at origin now. If north character is something what we got, so what we will do, we will move by 1 unit in the upside. So here it is like 0 1. So distance between this is like, this is xj, this is yj, this xi, yi. Okay, so the formula is like xj minus xi, either of the way, absolute value, plus yi minus yj. So as every time this xi and yi basically 0 0, because we actually need to get the distance from the origin. So yes, whatever the value that we have, it is going to be the same, because subtracting it from the 0 is going to be the same value. Okay, so 0 0 is the value that we got so far. Okay, so we can simply consider that whatever the values that we got, absolute values of those values is going to be the answer. Okay, by summing up them, because from the origin is something what we have to get the distance, whatever the so far distance that we got. Okay, currently we are at 1 0 when we explore the first character, so the distance is basically 1. So for the best answer that we got is 1. Okay, now the next is like, it is said that we are actually moving in the west direction. So what is west is actually in this direction, so what we will do, in this direction we will move. Okay, in this direction we move. So now the current distance is going to be minus 1 comma 1. So because we have to remember that this is going to be positive positive, so whatever the values that we are getting, it is going to be plus plus. Here it is going to be minus plus. Okay, these are x and y values. Okay, here it is going to be minus minus. Okay, x and y values. Here it is going to be plus and minus. Okay, so these things we have to remember. These all things we have learned in the childhood. So now it is like minus 1. 1 is the value that we got. So what is the distance so far from the origin? It is going to be again, why it is not updating. From the origin we actually want to get the distance. So again, 0 minus 1 and 0 minus 1 is the value that we subtract. So whatever these values that we have, we need to sum up them, whatever the absolute value that we get. So it is going to be again 2. So when we moved in this west direction, the distance that we got was 2. Okay, minus 1 1 is the value that we are at position. Now the next character is going to be south. South means, okay, we are actually moving in the downside. Okay, from here we are actually moving in the south direction. South is basically downside, so we have to move 1 unit by downside. Okay, so when we move in the downside, here we reach, so here it is going to be minus 1 0. Correct, that is the distance that we got, and the absolute distance, whatever the formula that we have applied, Manhattan formula, from the origin, it is going to be 1. The answer that we got was 1. The next one is like east. So if we move again in the east direction, it is going to be the origin, same origin, the value that we got was 0. So from here, if we do not consider to modify any index with any other directions value, the best answer from this one was 2. Okay, that is the answer that we got. Okay, now the idea is, see, if we are moving in the upward direction, in the north side, north direction, and suddenly south is something we got, then definitely this north will get reduced by whatever the direction that we move by 1 unit. So of course, whenever we get north, okay, or let us suppose south, if these counts are something really good, okay, so for the south count we got was by exploring them, 3 count is something we got, and suddenly north is something we got while exploring the string. So definitely this will be get reduced by 1 unit because we are moving in the opposite direction. Correct. So this will be like again 2. But if we have this k value, which is like we can utilize this one. Okay. So they can be given, like it can be given 3 times, 4 times, whatever it may be. The moment we get any opposite directions count on whatever the previous count that we got, if it was good, at good condition, definitely what we will do is we will try to utilize this k, and instead of this north we will make it to south, so that in the south direction again we move, the answer could be from 3 to it will be 4, instead of from 3 to it will be 2. Okay, the 4 is something what we get. Okay, so whatever the opposite direction count that we are getting, okay, for south it is north, or north it is south, west it is going to be east. Okay, if we get east, we will have to make sure to consider the waste whenever if we are getting, we will try to utilize the k value. Now we got this particular one, so opposite values if we are getting, we will try to get one. Okay, again we will discuss it like how to apply that particular one, right? So there will be many possibilities. Correct. So again we have this same example and k value is 1. So let us suppose we got first north. Is it really best choice if we immediately try to modify this north into the south direction and get the answer? So whenever we can possibly modify any index by any in the remaining 3 directions, right? And we got to know that whatever the character that we got north, if we modify it to the south, we can get the best answer. But we have to make sure that this north count should be less than the south count. But there could be a possibility in a future, let us suppose we got so many south 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 south, so if we modify this north to south, definitely at the end we will going to get the best answer, right? We will going to get the best answer. So yes, we can either modify it or not modify it. Those two possibilities we have with us. Currently, that is the idea that we have. But let us suppose we are going forwarded, and this north is something that we got. Okay, here at this location, and we what we did, the answer is basically we are at this location 0 1, because in the north direction we moved. So the current answer is 1. Now west is something what we got. We move in this direction. So do we really need to modify this west to north? We do not, right? So whatever the value that is there, we of course can get the best answer. If at all only we got the north and south is something what we got in the future, then the impact will be there on the answer. So yes, we can utilize the k value. Okay, now we are at this location, so it is like 1 minus 1 1, and the answer is basically 2. Next is south. So let us suppose now we got the south, so we are actually moving downside. So yes, of course we can now utilize this k value. Okay, and let us try to shift it from south to north. Okay, we can modify it with west as well. Okay, because that is the value that we got in the previously, but just try to consider that opposite values is something we will replace it. We don't have to consider that okay, we will try to modify it with west or east. Okay, just consider this one. Okay, north is something we will try to replace with. So we are at this location, so instead of going downside we will go upside, because 1 unit is something we will modify. So at this location the answer is 3. Correct, that is something we got. Now the next point is like again we got east. So we will we don't left with any k values. K value got 0, reduced to 0. So yes, of course, whatever the remaining values that we get, we have to apply, keep on applying this current formula. So now if we move in this direction, The answer for this one is like going to be 0 comma 2. So the two answer is something what we got with this at the end of the, out of this, what is the best answer? 3 is the best answer. So we got this 3 answer. But let us suppose if I did not modify this initially, and I tried modifying this east with the west, okay, we have this north, west, south, and east is something what we have. So far till this one, if we do not modify this with south, we will reach at this location, which is going to be -1 0, and the answer we will get is like 1 2 1. Okay, now instead of this south, if I tried modifying east, okay, to west, because that is also another possibility, right? West is something what we have, and if I modified with west, that we may can get the answer. But when we try to do that, we will reach at this location, which is going to be -2 comma 0. From this east, we modify to the west, the answer is going to be -2 comma 0. From the origin, the distance is going to be 2, correct? Absolute difference. So from this one, the best answer that we got so far is basically 2 at this one, as well as at this location, correct? So the idea that is, we got clear that the moment we get any different character at any point in time, we can immediately apply this k value. Okay, so if we try to preserve this k value and we'll try to utilize it in the future, definitely the answer is getting affected with that one. Okay, that is the clarity that we got. So machine is actually getting heated. Let me take a pause and I'll quickly back, and then I'll continue with the explanation. Okay, I'm back. I hope it is recording again. So we understood that we have to utilize this k value as early as possible, because we tried utilizing the k value for the next characters instead of using here itself, and we got to know that answer is getting smaller. Okay, now we got these values, and the thing is, let us suppose if we got in the future yes, yes, yes many times. So what we tried modifying this yes value with the k not, and we got the answer. But in the future it will be like we will get regretted, right? Why we actually modified this from south to north, because if we would have kept it south and we modified with this with south, the answer could have been better, right? Because yes, yes, yes keep on getting increased, and if we modified this yes as well from the north to south, and whatever the yes value is there, if we keep as it is, the answer could be better, right? Because that's the best answer that we can get it. So yes, we have now understood that yes, we cannot directly consider that whatever the first value that we got so far the count, if it is getting the best, we will simply modify based on that previous values, right? So now we have different possibilities right over here, because once the moment we got to know that okay, we can in the future, what if the recent value is actually best value that we get so far in the count, that can generate a best possible answer, right? So what we will do is basically, we got to know that the answer at any point in time, if we move in this direction in these areas, okay, we will definitely going to best answer. Okay, this direction is basically northeast. If we keep on moving in this direction, of course, if we try to go in this particular way or comparing with this one, this particular direction is going to be give us the best answer, possible answer. So this is like northwest. And if even if in this particular direction also, if we keep on going, this also gives us the best answer. This is like south west, and this is like southeast. Okay, in all these four direction, if we keep on moving, it doesn't matter, right? So in the future we may get that this south and east values are best compared with the initial values, and we tried modifying the initial values by keep on reducing them with this k, by modifying them with the k. Okay, we are trying to utilize this k, and we keep on modifying this northwest wherever the values we are getting, we keep on modifying. In the future we got to know that the south east values are actually great. I mean, they are actually more than this northeast, and we northwest, whatever the direction that we picked, and we then regret that why we modified it. So we got to know that in these all the four directions, if we keep on going, we may get the best answer. And at any point in time, let us suppose we fixed two indices northeast, and we got to know that okay, at any point in time apart from these two characters north and east, if any value is something different from this northeast we got in the string, the character that we got is different. So what we can do is basically we will keep on trying to utilize this case value as early as possible, because that way the best answer is something what we can get it out of there. Okay, so in the four direction we will keep on trying to go. Here we are actually trying to fix these characters, because see, if we are at this location 1 comma 1, okay, the moment we are at this location, east is something we got, of course we are actually moving in this direction, so it is like 1 comma 2. and then again north is something what we got, we will move upward, so 2 comma 2. So this is like one unit we are keep on incrementing ourselves. And the moment we get any other character from this one, because this is like we are going in this particular direction apart from northeast, if we got, let us suppose south is something what we got, so south is basically going downward. So at this current location we are at, so it will be go and previous location, and that means because we are going downside. Okay, because south is something we got in the future, so we are actually moving in the downside. Okay, so if we moving in the downside, of course the value will get affected, so we will try to see if we have k value remaining in our purse. If the k value is actually remain, what we will do, instead of going downward again, we will try to go in the upward. It is because see, anything north also get, if we get east also we get, the value is getting increased by 1 unit, correct? That is the answer, the reflection that we can notice right over here. So yes, at any point in time, if we get north or east, for when we fix these two characters, what we will do, we will basically increment the counter. At any point in time, k if apart from north and east directions, if we get any other character, what we will do, we will try to see if k is still remain in our purse or not. If k is there, we will simply increment the counter and reduce the k's value. Okay, we keep on doing these operations until the k value is basically equals to 0. The moment we realize the k value is 0, we cannot further try to modify any characters. So whatever the character that we are getting apart from north and east, we will keep on reducing our counters, and in between this, we will keep on tracking the answer. So whatever the best answer that we got, that is something what we will keep on updating in the solution. Okay, this way we will get answer for the northeast direction. There could be possibility that northwest answer could be best. Okay, if we pick north and west, the answer could be best. Okay, the moment the any characters north or west characters we are getting, we will increment the counters. Apart from this, if any other character is something what we are noticing in the code, we will reduce the case counter and increment the counter as well again, because we are shifting that character to north or west. So of course in the same direction only we are actually moving, in this particular direction only we are actually moving. So yes, the counter whatever we got, it will get incremented by 1, and case value will get decremented. So at any point in time, k value is reduced, and no characters are actually north or east. So at that point, we will simply keep on reducing the answers value if the value is not actually equals. Okay, that we will try to explore all the 4 possibilities that we can get the best answers out of them. Whichever we get, that is the answer that we have. We can solve it in any other different possibilities. Okay, but this fixing of the characters is something widely get used in different questions. Okay, so yes, this can be get hit immediately during the interview. So in the recent time also we have solved in the same month, there was a problem where we have to generate there is a substring related problem was there. So we actually trying to fix 4 different characters, and for whatever the possibilities, 20 possibilities were something we were getting. With that one, we were trying to keep on checking if that is the best answer or not. So yes, that is something, the similar kind of thing we will be doing right over here. We'll try to check in this area if we are getting the best answer, in this area if we try to fix north and west, if we are getting the best answer in this area, if we are getting the best answer, or in this area, whatever the best answer so far by fixing these values we got, that is something we have to return. Okay, let us write down the code. Let me get answer variable here. Int answer equals to 0, initially it will be pointing, and we will solve in 4 different ways. The first solve will be like let us fix north character and east character. Okay, see, I cannot fix north and south. Okay, we already saw that if we fix north and south, at any point in time, if I get south, I cannot increment the counter, right? I have to decrement the counters. So answer may be lying in those 4 areas only that we actually pointed. So you go again and try to think about that. If we try to fix any 2 other characters apart from these 4 possibilities, do we going to get the best answer or not? Okay, these are the 4 directions only in which we can fix these characters. And the moment we notice any other characters from this one, we will try to utilize the k. If the k value is reduced, definitely we cannot further improve the answer. Okay, so yes, north east are the 2 directions. The next one is like the string we will pass, the k value will pass. Okay, and whatever the answer from this one we will get, we will keep on updating it with the answer if the current answer that we got from this one, if it is the maximum or not. Okay, this same operation we will do in 4 different directions. So the next one, let me copy this two as well again, and we will write that then this answer is something what we have to return. And before going to the answers, so northeast, northwest is the again another directions where we can fix. Then there is a southeast, southwest. Okay, these are the 4 directions where we can try to get the best answer possibly. Let us try to solve this solve function. it will return int, so int solve, and first character is let us suppose this will name it as x, then there is a y, and then there is a string s. So we will traverse through this string. We will keep on checking if the character is actually north or west. If so, we will keep on incrementing the counter, because from the origin we are trying to get the distance. So if we are falling in the same particular direction, 1 unit is something, the answer is getting incremented. If we are falling in apart from that particular region into any other areas, definitely 1 unit will get decremented. So string is something I got, k value we have. So let me create a counter. So this counter basically tracks whether we reach to case value or not, or even we can reduce the case value, but yes, we can do either of the way. So the next one is like, let me create another answer variable, which will be the best answer. And we have to keep on tracking current answers, okay, at particular index. What is the best answer so far we got? Okay. And that way we can maintain the maximum answer so far we got from the entire string. So we will go through the string. Let us run a for loop, get the char from this string array, s dot to char array. Okay, from this one we will get the characters. Now the next thing is like, basically let us try to see if whatever the character that we have, if it is equals to x or ch equals to y. If that is the case, we are actually moving in the same direction which we tried fixing of those characters. So yes, of course, whatever the current answer that we are considering, that will get incremented by 1 unit. Else, if whatever the counter that we have, okay, the current counter, okay, if this counter, the count value is actually less than k, that means any different character we got, we can utilize the k value. So current answer here also we can keep on incrementing. Okay. And count, of course this count also we will increment, so that we will make sure that k times only we will utilizing this particular feature. Or else, of course, now the k value is also gone down. We used fully this k value, so at this particular location we cannot do any further, we cannot get any best answer so far. So whatever the current answer that we have, we can simply reduce it by 1 unit, because we are moving in the opposite direction in this case. So now we got this one. So answer is something we will keep on tracking. So far, whatever the best answer that we got, math.max answer comma current answer. Okay, whatever we have. Okay, this is something what at the end, once the for loop is done, we will return the answer. Okay. So that's how we can write this code. We can write in other ways as well, but this will basically hit it immediately during the interview. What it is saying, okay, I have missed at all the locations this brackets. Okay, let us add this one. Let us run the code. So talking about the time complexity, of course, this is going to take big of n, and we are doing it 4 times. So 4 into n is the time complexity. We are not utilizing any space so far. Yes, in the function call, we are actually passing the same string. So yes, of course, no space, extra space. So that's how we can solve it. There are other ways as well where we can use and solve this code, but yes, just do let me know if you want the other ways of solution as well. I'll write down the code as well. Okay, that's all from this particular video. Thank you for watching this one. Bye bye.